Ryan Blaney arrived into Watkins Glen 2025 with a memory he probably wanted to forget. A Lap 1 crash in 2024 that destroyed his day before it ever began. Nobody, and I mean nobody, anticipated he'd be the one to topple Shane van Gisbergen's road course empire. SVG had been turning every curve and turn into a personal highlight reel all season, sweeping every road course on the schedule with surgical accuracy. However, on qualification day, the impossible occurred. Blaney did not simply turn up, he stole the show. His lap time, 71.960 seconds at 122.568 miles per hour. That was only 0.033 seconds quicker than SVG. However, in NASCAR, that is not just anything. That's the kind of figure that causes a garage full of seasoned technicians to pause mid-wrench and glance up at the leaderboard. It was Blaney's second road course pole, and it came on SVG turf. Afterwards, Blaney explained how he pieced it together. I knew I had a really good lap going. I got through the S's really good. Like 2 and 3, I got up the hill really good. My car stuck well. I thought I gave a little bit back in the bus stop. I kind of committed really hard in there and got loose and hit the curbs wrong, but luckily I had like a buffer from the S's. He was being modest, but the fact was obvious. He had just beaten the greatest in the business at his own game. Blaney's motivation went beyond track position. This was about transmitting a message, and he even confessed who motivated him to improve his skills. Whenever you can learn from the best guys out there, I try to take all of that and absorb it. He had analyzed every move SVG made, including his braking locations, corner exits, and even how he set up passes. This was equivalent to the student finally receiving a higher grade than the teacher on a pop quiz. The difference was that the true test was still to come, race day. Blaney came out swinging as soon as the green flag dropped. His Penske Ford was more than simply quick. It was planted, stable, and ready to take on SVG. He remained calm under pressure lap after lap, eventually winning the stage. But anyone who knows road course racing understands that it's about more than simply speed. It's about staying focused, maintaining your tires, and timing every move across 90 hard laps. And SVG? He's the person who elevates waiting for the right moment to an art form. He slowly but steadily closed the gap. It wasn't dramatic, no reckless lunges or frantic dives, rather methodical, precise, and almost mechanical. Then, at the right time, he made his move. When SVG gained the lead, he did not simply maintain it, he built it. He had an 11-second lead at the finish line. Blaney finished 6th. By most definitions, that was a good day, especially given where he had been a year before. But for him, it was unfinished business. He referred to it as a well-executed day and was proud of the team's efforts, but you could sense there was a fire there. The feeling of being on the verge of success, but not quite there. However, he did learn information. Each lap behind SVG was a masterclass. How to brake deeper without locking up. How to maintain tire wear under control when pressing. How to deal with lap traffic without losing pace. Those lessons could be invaluable when the playoffs arrive, especially since that road courses are becoming more important to the title. Even in the garage, people noticed. Whispers concerning Blaney's increased braking zones. Observations on how he was striking apexes sharper than usual. Analysts noted that his lap numbers were only a tenth slower than SVG's near the end of the run. Fatigue was not the issue. Strategy might have been. If Penske could improve its pit calls and tire cycles, the deficit might not simply narrow, but disappear entirely. What about the man himself? SVG admits that Blaney had him work for it. For a driver accustomed to dominating road courses, being pushed so hard was a wake-up call. He even admitted that he had to dig deeper than normal to achieve the win. That is much than just praise. It acknowledges Blaney's ability to overcome the mental barrier most drivers have when encountering SVG. What happened at Watkins Glen was more than simply a single qualifying lap or a 6th-place result. It was a shift in attitude. Until that weekend, SVG's domination on road courses seemed impenetrable. Fans nearly took his victories for granted. What about now? There was a crack in the armor, and the driver who caused it wasn't some wild-card rookie. It was Ryan Blaney, who had been studying the sport, biding his time, and quietly honing his skills. The advancements made by Team Penske were significant. In 2024, their road course package was simply not competitive with the leading teams. However, in 2025, they debuted with improved brake cooling, more precise gearing, and a suspension setup that gave Blaney the confidence to assault corners rather than tiptoe through them. That wasn't luck, it was planning, and it sent a strong message to the rest of the field. Penske was not only going to show up at road races, they were going to win them. The mental game shifted as well. Drivers who believe they can win at specific tracks begin to race differently. And after Watkins Glen, Blaney wasn't talking like he was looking for a top 10 finish. His body language told the story. No bowed shoulders or defeated sighs. Instead, he expressed measured confidence, as if he knew this was merely the beginning. That's problematic for a competitor like SVG, because once you start getting pressured, even minor errors may seep in. Fans felt the buzz right away. During the race, social media heated up, especially when Blaney and SVG were within a second of each other. Watch parties and live threads were buzzing with debate. Some fans believed this was the beginning of a new rivalry that would define the remainder of the season. Others scoffed, claiming that SVG still dominated race days. But one thing was certain, the days of SVG conquering road courses unopposed had passed. What about SVG himself? He may not acknowledge it explicitly, but his post-race statements said enough. Recognizing that he needed to react on the fly to keep Blaney behind was as near to a confession as you can get in NASCAR. Respect is not easily earned for someone who has been so powerful. Blaney had earned it the hard way, by pushing SVG to dig deeper and refusing to back down when the heat was ramped up. That's why this moment is significant beyond Watkins Glen. NASCAR's playoff format has increased the importance of road courses. A driver who can finish first in those races is not only gaining points, they are dictating the momentum of the championship race. Blaney demonstrated that he could not only qualify well, but also hold his own on the front, win stages, and make SVG uncomfortable. And suffering is an effective weapon. Imagine this battle continuing into the playoffs, with SVG and Blaney facing off on a road track for a championship berth. The tension in each braking zone, the possibility of a single lockout or missing shift deciding the entire season. That's the kind of drama NASCAR fans crave, and Watkins Glen may have just delivered the opening chapter. For the time being, SVG retains control of the road course throne, but he is no longer alone in the castle. Blaney's performance was no fluke, and everyone in the garage knows it. He has the car, the personnel, and the mindset to win road courses rather than simply survive them. When a motorist believes they can overthrow the king, history reveals that the king's reign is short-lived. The next time these two compete on a road track, the stakes will be higher, the racing closer, and the margin for error razor-thin. One qualifying run at Watkins Glen turned the script, and we could be witnessing the beginning of NASCAR's next great on-track rivalry. So here's the real question. Do you believe Ryan Blaney can beat SVG on the road course before the season ends? Is this another case of the champion being pushed but not dethroned? In any case, secure your seatbelt. The war is far from over,